Hey, here we are. Here we are. Let's hopefully we can be on. I wonder if I can hear ourselves. Can we hear ourselves? Can we hear ourselves? Let's check and test and check. One, two, three, four. I think we hear
I
ourselves. You
think
think we
we hear
do? Let me
ourselves
see. I'm
too.
gonna try something else. Right. One, two, three.
All right.
Okay, there it is. Turn it up. Okay, here we are. We can hear ourselves now. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear me. Oh, I'm running the board again. Go ahead, Sharon. If you can hear us, put your fingers up, put your hands in the air like you just don't care.
Well, we won't see it, so say something in the comments if you can hear us,
Exactly, exactly. Go right ahead.
so that we know. Welcome, welcome, and we're so glad to have you with us again. I am Zare, and I'm here with Aymar, and we are taking the journey together. And we are very happy to be on this journey, the journey of ups and downs and hills
Downs and
and
ups.
valleys and all of that. But that's a part of relationships. That's a part of learning to grow together, learning to be interdependent with one another, and learning how to please and make each other happy. And
Yes.
those are things that are ongoing because as we grow, I'm learning that things change, and things change a lot as we grow, and that's an important thing.
What was I just talking? Okay, give us a motto, and then we're
Okay,
gonna
and that's
our vision
and
statement, and then we're gonna go into something
that's where I'm going
that
because I was
you
doing
just
that.
overlooked.
Well, I was trying to give some
Hmm.
overview while you got things together.
Mm,
Our
okay.
our belief statement is we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother, father, children, or even what Jesus says. We are going to relate. At taking the journey together, we believe in relating in a balanced manner. Balanced relationships are the ones that are entered into as friends first and lovers second, but has both aspects in each partner. So that is what we are based on. Our foundation of a healthy, thriving relationship has to do with building a relationship from the friendship point of view. And once you are friends, then you build that up to the point of being more than friends. You are at an interdependent stage, and you are in a lover stage, and you're in a friendship stage.
You're trying your best to say everything that is like a shotgun, but you're not hitting it with a rifle right on the targets.
Exactly,
We
right where the
gave some
target is.
words. We,
Yes.
we gave the words. We talked about it before this, but we know that in this area, you are working on it, but are
Absolutely.
not quite there because it's not a subconscious tape that you have been given by experience of others
Hmm.
acting that way around you and you yourself going out and studying it on your own and make it part of your life. And many of us have not.
Right.
Many of us took the route and took the time out to find out more about how to be in an interdependent relationship. Because taking the journey together is all about a balanced relationship that is based on interdependence. Now, we just talked about it before we got on the radio, and
Yes.
yet you didn't even use that
Yes, I
word
did.
once.
Yes, I did.
Okay, if you did, what
I
is
did.
interdependence then?
Interdependence is a mingling,
I'm mingling, like how you said, that's nice.
mixture coming together,
Mm-hmm.
a balance between the two people in agreement.
You know what I would say? You
That's
know what I would say? I'm going to use two prolific statements that help bridge us into
hmm
our talk today, and it will help you out at the same time. And I also feel at the same time, you will then be able to catch it as a seed as others who are watching this so it
yes.
can get in you to understand this. We're talking about our topic as being what?
We talk.
We talk. So interdependence could be said as our great rest in peace brother Malcolm X said. And he referred it to a groups of people, but he also referred it to you as a human being in a relationship. That's right. You in a relationship. He said, when I is replaced with we, illness, what happens?
Becomes wellness.
Becomes wellness. Again, when I is replaced with we, illness becomes
Becomes wellness.
wellness. So when we move from the I to the we in a relationship, then that's when real wellness comes. What wellness are we talking about? We're talking about the wellness that is encapsulate in interdependence. And interdependence is all about a we. And the phases that we go in life usually starts from dependence when we're young, on our parents, on whoever is there as our adult figures, parental figures. Then we move into independent, where they're able to eat, provide for ourselves, all that good stuff. Some of us never move out of the independent
Of the,
status
yes.
realm. We never move out of it. No one ever teaches us. No one really shows us. So we stay in that independence realm. Right now, it seems to be in the selfish generation that independence is being pushed as being the highest level of maturity that a individual being could ever get.
The strange thing about the selfie generation is that they are independent at the same time of being dependent.
Well, you will find out that if you move at the extreme, because everything's a balance, and you move at the extreme of independence, you will start finding out that the extreme is a fantasy because you're going to relate to somebody. Like we say, make a difference what your mom said about your dad. You're going to relate to somebody. Every day you're relating to someone. Every day you're connecting with some kind of relationship. The neighbor, the barber, the guy at the quick trip, you at school, your job. Even if you are on your own island, you're going to relate to somebody. Could be animals too, but or maybe trees. Anyway, you're going to relate. So independence at this furthest end is an extreme. And anyone who puts that independence at the extreme, usually they are in the arena of being a narcissist because their idea is the world surrounds around them and no one else is connected to the world but just them, or everybody else has to be connected to them, and that's it. So on the extreme end of those who feel so strongly about being independent, most of the time you can see narcissistic personalities coming from them or manifesting from them. What do you think about that? I'm gonna start with that real quickly.
No, I agree because the ultimate narcissist is an independent person who thinks that they are independent to the point that the world is theirs. And I often tell people, think about it. This world is not surrounding around you. It does not revolve around you.
They speak that way. They talk that way.
Yes.
They have other people convinced that it's really surrounded around them. And
mad and upset and angry when they don't get what they want.
Exactly. And never think that that very narcissist or that person is very independent. They are usually getting people who believe that to do those things for them. So they're not too independent, if you ask me, because otherwise they'd be doing mostly everything themselves from that end.
But they don't feel like they have to.
Exactly.
They feel like their privilege tells them that somebody else
that's why they're in the realm of being narcissists, or some people say a figment of their own imagination.
Exactly.
From that particular end. So in a relationship, back to a relationship, a balanced relationship, then this interdependence, not independence, interdependence is basically all about this. It's what somebody can do with another body that they really can't do by themselves. It's almost like a mathematical equation. 1 + 1 not only can equal 2, but in some scientific circles, when we talk about quantum theory or energy itself, 1 + 1 can equal 3, 4, 5, and 6 out of that power. So
when you add in children.
Well, exactly. So that means two people in a balanced, thriving relationship, their experiences that they have as individual beings, when they come together to integrate with one another, not assimilate to one another, but integrate with one another, agreeing to be interdependent with one another. Sorry, slip of the lip. Interdependent with one another, taking those skills with one another and integrating using mutual agreement, they can do almost anything in the world. In fact, many larger organizations, larger functions, larger things that have happened in the world, if you look back at them, there have been couples who've operated in that way. And they have changed many things in the world because of that. So strongly, we need to understand that if you're operating and you want to move in an independent way, an interdependent way, moving from independent in a relationship with someone else that wants to operate in a balanced, interdependent relationship that's going to be thriving, healthy, then you both have to use mutual agreement to be able to relate with one another. And certainly you'll have to use and understand the very same Malcolm talked about, which is moving from I to we makes you healthy. That's right. Healthiness of a human being, relationship wise, whether it's in an intimate relationship or close relationship or dedicated relationship or a relationship to other beings, it is healthy when you connect as a we, not just as an I. What you think?
I agree. I agree. And it's better that way because you need support. You can support yourself just so far, and you need to have somebody with you who is there with you, and
Miss Scott's back again.
and you yes,
And David Banner's back.
and
Hello,
we're
David.
so glad to see both of you back.
Exactly.
And any others who may be out there, we're glad you're
I'm
out
a,
there too.
I'm gonna put a little music on in the background if I can find how to do that. But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But it's very important.
Which talk?
That's what you said. That was
Keep up. You're supposed to be being independent here, interdependent, not independent, but interdependent. So keep up.
You're right. I was keeping up. And then
I know you got sidetracked. One of the things in an interdependent relationship is both stay close and focused on one another
Yes.
and those things that are important to one another. When you get out of focus, then that means you're usually dropping back to I. And when you drop back to I, you're being unhealthy in a we relationship. That's what we understand. You drop too much into I in a we relationship or an interdependent relationship, then you are being unhealthy to the relationship. Don't mean that you're being unhealthy to yourself,
Yeah.
but you're being unhealthy in the relationship.
Right.
Yes, you do. I don't know why it's down.
Oh, because from the other meeting that we had.
Yeah, well, you do because they probably don't hear you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you can hear it now. I think you can.
Try to look.
Say something. I'm saying something. Now you say something.
Okay, I'm trying to say something. Trying to get it tight enough. Okay. Here we go.
Mhm.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
You should have said something a long time ago.
Yeah.
They let me run my mouth, but hey, it's not just
Well,
about me.
Well, yeah, it's not, but there are times when what you have to say is so powerful and so important to the people that are listening that it's valuable time for you to, as you say, run your mouth. But you're not running your mouth like a lot of people do.
Okay. Well, I want you to share. Share with your friends. Share with your mate. Share with even your enemy. Share with everybody you know, and some that don't know about. Hey, we need to build a powerful relationship. We need to build a powerful partnership. We need to operate interdependent of
Independently.
one another and with one another. We understand that we have independent skills, and we're good at that because wholeness is what you in turn would operate in when you know about that very thing. That I have independent skills. I'm good at my independent skills, but I'm ready to step to the table and bring to the table in a higher level relationship, as they say, elevating up relationship that has to do with being related to someone else, interdependently wise, and both of our skills together, then are able to do more than what we could do by ourselves.
Yes.
Because that's what interdependence is all about. In a healthy, balanced relationship, always when it operates that way, will end up thriving in this world and changing things in your world and for a legacy and generations to come.
And that's where the importance is. It's those in the future. It's what you build. It's kind of like that saying that leaders create other leaders. And
Yes.
leaders create other leaders.
All right.
I am. I'm
So-
sorry. I've been talking so much today. It's like getting to me.
We wish we would have had our doctor here today. He's out gallivanting across the country. I think he's someplace out in California, Dr. Fraser. I'm dealing with some holistic um, clients that are out there. We miss him there at the same time, but he keeps in touch with. Hopefully, he's also looking at the show tonight too. Also, too, at the same time, who's the other person?
Latita.
Latita, that's right. What about her?
Well, she's working.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they are both working, and we would, wish they were um, with us. Wish they, could share their insight. Um, and but hopefully next week we will get them all back here. So, and in the meantime, I guess we will hold it down for them, which is also a sign of an interdependent relationship where you know that in your weak point there's somebody else who will pick up the
Slack, as they say.
Yes.
So you don't have to do it all yourself. For those out there who are used to doing it all themselves, a lot of women, a lot of us, a lot of Black women, including my mom, who was separated, fell from marriage from my dad, lived in a single parent family, and she definitely thought she could do it all herself. Most of the time, we were doing it. She just was telling us what to do. So I even saw out of that idea of I'm doing everything myself. Really, that wasn't a reality. Someone else was doing it. You just felt you were doing it yourself because of the fact that you were able to tell other people to do it and they did it. But that doesn't mean whatsoever that you were able to do it yourself. That means you're just delegating authority from that end. Some comes ill-gotten authority, but it's delegating authority.
Yes.
So from that end, when you have someone else in your relationship that also can do it, not just talk about it, then there's no doubt about it out of that equation. You're going to be able to do more than what you're able to do by yourself and just speak it, and then it's going to be done. So that's very important.
And it tends to take a lot of the pressure off of both of you.
Yes.
When you feel like you're doing everything and there's someone who should be doing that with you, it can lead to animosity. But if you're not involved in We Talk, you're not going to know that. Each one of you may be feeling put upon without anybody knowing because you're not talking. You're not talking about that issue. Or one is talking about it and the other is not. So We Talk is very important. Can we kind of move into some of our
yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I was looking at, last week we talked about collaborative problem solving, and that's one of the things that could fall into that. But you've got to have something that you have to have that closeness. We Talk is particularly valuable for relationships as it fosters a sense of unity when tackling challenging issues. Phrases like "we need to address this household matter" or "we must make a decision on this" are much more inviting and cooperative than saying "you need to handle this at home" or "I need to decide on this." We Talk implies teamwork and shared effort from both sides, and that's where you can talk about, where you can bring it up. We need to talk about how we're sharing the responsibility or how we're not sharing the responsibility. We need to talk about how I feel in this relationship and go from there and let it be known that, I'm uncomfortable, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling put upon, and all those things that we don't really want to. Um, they're hard things to talk about sometimes when we are in a relationship, but they are important. And that's where that interdependent conversation will sit. We're supposed to be interdependent. Why am I feeling independent? We're supposed to be interdependent. Why am I feeling?
So why are you sometimes? Even though you're on this show, you talk about interdependent stuff. Why is it that many times we see you still operate, even in our relationship, in an independent? Let's be let's be transparent.
Yes.
What?
Honest, open, and transparent.
There's some others people who are listening who are struggling with. I hear what you're talking about. I hear what you are saying, but I'm not operating that way. The other person not operating. How do we really operate that way? So we can't be so effective if we're not, as some people say, keep it real, but at the same time keep it right.
Right, and I think part of it is because I am in a job where all day long I'm making most of the decisions, and there's nobody else to do it. So then when I come home, and then I have the home responsibilities,
Hmm.
those still I feel like still on me. And so from that standpoint, those are two aspects in my life where I am I have to make the decisions in those things.
That part of the independence that you're referring to, that is definitely an individual independence
Yeah.
that you gain through your education. You gain through how the educational system itself, because it is an educational system, has its own pipeline too, by the way,
But
for African Americans to prison. But they also have taught you that kind of independent way to be through school as a teacher that has your own environment that you create for kids. So you were used to operating at a level where you independently are creating on your own, which you have
yes,
every
and
bit of
quite
right to.
often spur of the
And there's
moment.
nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Mhm.
But there's a difference when you start trying to relate with another
Yes.
individual who can create, has the
Yes.
power to create, and they themselves are another individual.
Yes.
And so when you try to then begin to relate with them, then that is another experience that in turn you must have, know about, to be able to manifest it in a balanced way. In other words, relate to that person in a
Absolutely.
balanced way. Otherwise, you're going to operate mostly as an independent because that's all you know.
Right. Right.
And how much experience on the other side we need to talk about, since we're talking to a lot of African Americans too, and maybe some not out there. How many experiences do we have from the past, either in our mind or either in our visual circles of time? We see African American parents being together, men and women, and are operating in a interdependent way. Usually they're operating when it comes to relationship now to individuals. They're usually operating in a my own way, independent way. They're usually
Yes.
operating independently in
Yes.
one another in that
Yes.
relationship. And that might be the only kind of experience we've ever had, we've ever seen in that kind of relationship. And we figure that's how it should be, even though many of us know that behind closed doors, it's ugly.
Right.
They're not relating
Right.
well. They're fighting all the time.
Mhm.
They basically don't seem like they're on the same page whatsoever from that end. And if they even use a traditional route, which is I, as a woman, I follow a man and he is to be like my savior or my leader, whatever, she may feel frustrated in a relationship where she's not able to learn anything independent on her own to be able to express herself creatively.
Right.
Or she may bring that in a relationship, and the other individual, the other male, may feel that I am the one to run the show because that's how I was set up or taught to be, and therefore you need to follow me. And it becomes more a codependent relationship and not a balanced relationship, not a interdependent relationship.
Right. And and when you say what examples have we had, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. Well, a lot of us have not had the experience of seeing a mother and father do it. But then I got to thinking, I did see that example in my mother and grandmother because they lived in the house together. My mother went out and worked. My grandfather, when he was alive, went out and worked. They pooled together. Well, my grandmother's responsibility was being at home, making the meals, taking care of the home, and being there for my sister and me when we came home. And
That was not a male
no, that's what I'm saying.
with
That
a female
that's what I'm saying.
being and operating in independence, even though you
That's
saw that example.
exactly.
Good example. You could
That's-
not really relate to it
That's
or
exactly
transfer
what I'm
it
saying.
into a relationship with another male.
That's
Now,
exactly
that
what
doesn't
I'm
mean
saying.
that those out there are not transferring that kind of relationship, because we know we now have females relating in marriage or commitment to males, to females,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yes.
And they may have never even seen that experience,
Mhm.
but are trying to try that same
Yeah.
thing. One thing is for sure, it didn't translate well for you because you were still in the old school that it was a male that you should be interfacing with in a interdependent relationship or in a long-term relationship.
Absolutely.
And so you couldn't transfer that well because you didn't actually see the image of a man.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
We did not, a lot of us did not have that male female
Mhm.
two parent vision that was there, but we had a different version of it. Like in my case,
Version 101,
the extended
basic
family.
101.
Yeah. And a lot of us, especially a lot of us who are in the South,
Mhm.
had that extended family model,
Mhm.
whatever the dynamics of it was. It was not that supposedly perfect mom and dad and the children. It was
Since when
No,
that
no, no.
idea of perfect even existed? In reality, it didn't exist. Now,
that's-
other cultures played it, wait till your dad, wait till your father come home,
Yes.
Leave It to Beaver,
Yes.
and all that stuff.
And
They played that role as a image.
Mhm.
They were actors anyway,
Yes.
acting on TV.
Yes.
And in turn, we're all about trying to, how can I say it, have other people adopt that kind of
Mhm.
lifestyle,
Yes.
or look at them as being a role model. But even they themselves being human didn't necessarily act that way and operate that way. Many of the divorces that happened there, many of the children, of course, had dysfunctional kind of ways how they relate to one another, and had the generation gap between male and female, between younger and older. So even in that culture, the Caucasian cultures, we know that use those models as a way to have a good family, even using a Christian model, religious model, still didn't necessarily make that a real balanced way of operating. It still doesn't today.
And that's why I said supposedly.
Exactly.
It was not. It was a farce. It was. And to be honest with you, there is no perfect relationship. There is no perfect model for everybody.
Well,
But
we talked about
what
that already. That in a
Yes.
balanced, healthy relationship, notice the first word is what?
balance.
Balance.
Yes.
Interdependence is all about balancing
Balance.
between the two human
Yes.
beings.
Yes.
And the two human beings, there is no such thing perfect as
Uh,
them
yeah.
individual beings.
Exactly.
They can gain independence as much as they can. And many of us don't even gain enough independence, being loving of our own self.
That's
But yet we'll get into a relationship and don't even allow the relationship to help create our knowledge of ourselves, because another human being can help you getting to know yourself by how you relate to them.
exactly.
And interdependence will allow that to happen
Yes.
if you let that door, if you choose to let that door happen, meaning from the standpoint that we both grow together and learn something new about one another.
Yes.
Quite frankly, when you do relate to one another in a balanced relationship, you are going to learn things new about one another.
Yes.
How can you really create something more than what you create by yourself, unless it's something new that you two did and created both together?
Yes.
I mean, come on
And,
now.
and you learn from it.
Exactly.
When you create it together, you learn from it together.
Yes.
That's how that works. So
Hey, why don't you talk about having people give to this great channel that allowing us to give this opportunity to be able to debate and talk back another? Oh, that's small too. That's the support donation.
Okay. All right. Please donate to this platform. It's $ all things relevant on Cash App. We're only here because of you. Support and donate today. Again, that is on Cash App, $ all things relevant. Spelled out that way.
There you go. Hey, we're going to go to a commercial today, which we usually try to do. So we're going to be right back. Keep your hats on. Keep your brain cells open as we're trying to keep you to do, because we want you to not only think, but we also want you to make sure you bring your passion right along with you.
Yes.
And think through your heart. Interdependence is all about trying to think also through your heart, because your heart is where your passion is, where your feelings are, or where your emotions are. And that's exactly where, of course, your spirit speaks through you when you care about someone, anything else, right?
Absolutely.
And hopefully it's the other personal relationship that builds that closeness, right?
Yes.
How else can you think about we? Anyway, let's go to commercial. Ready?
Ready.
Hey, and we are back again.
Yes.
We are back again. Oh, wow. What a show we're having. We're having a great time. I hope you're enjoying it too at the same time, learning something new, learning something great that will help you out in your relationship. Or you can do like an old pastor said to me, hey, you
Put
can
it in
put
the
it deep freezer and what?
and pull it out when you need it.
Pull out when you need it. Yes, yes. Okay, where we at? You were getting ready to move on to, wasn't you?
Yes, that was the collaborative problem solving that we were talking about, where you need to have that conversation. But then we're going to jump down to another one of our notes that kind of connects with that, called everyday use of we talk. Everyday use. So we talk should not just be when there's a problem. It should be something that you're comfortable with because you use it all the time. In everyday conversation, we should strive to employ we talk instead of I talk when appropriate.
Oh, that's what I want.
Even routine discussions present opportunities to make decisions together.
Routine.
Yes.
Routine. I always say routine moves easily into, guess what?
What?
What are you doing? Why are you messing with that?
Because I need to.
Oh,
Let's
okay. Okay. It moves you into taking for granted. I mean, what's that?
Yeah, routine does.
Oh, yes.
You get so caught in, oh, this is the everyday. It becomes mundane. You do it without thinking, and sometimes those things that become rote memory things, to where you just do them without thinking, they move into the point where the other person feels like they're being taken for granted.
Exactly.
And that's not a good place, but you need to talk about those things.
I'm talking about it right now. Here's a routine that we don't usually do. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Talk about it. What are we talking about?
Fiction. Talk about it.
Talk.
There you go. Come on, tell
Okay.
us.
Other places where you can see us,
Yes.
or hear us, at least
Yes.
in this case, every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us as we talk about healthy or thriving relationships. You can go online to www.wruu.org and or listen on our post at rebrand.ly /TTJTs-WRUU.
Yeah, well,
And it's going across the
them
bottom.
are past.
Oh,
Them are
okay,
past.
that's right.
Now repost. Them are past shows. Now we're a
Yes.
little behind
You
on
can-
it, but these are past shows that you can hear us audibly wise.
Yes.
If you want to listen to us audibly. Pretty soon we're going to write several different books about relationship, and
We're
we're
working on
going
one
to
now.
audio them. In other words, you'll be able to pick up some audio books, and will be our voices on the audio books, and we will be talking about relationships, especially the hot thing that we talk about.
Yes.
And Sharon, who likes to write stories, she's going to write some hot stories about relationships that she'll read. You're going to want to listen to them. Now, don't get me wrong. They will always have the background of balanced, healthy, thriving relationships built on interdependence. But remember, just because you have an interdependent relationship, don't mean you don't have spicy times. Don't mean that you don't have exciting times. Don't mean you don't have passionate times and drama times, but they're going to be fantastic. They're going to be safe. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be sexy. You're going to love some of those stories.
Yes.
She looked at me like, where did this come from? I can't believe he just talked about it. But I know her juices of writing books like she used to write about the romantic stuff. I know that just brought that back out of her again. She goes, wow, I never thought about doing it. Those books are fine, but they are so much based on unhealthy, unbalanced relationships.
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
And so it makes it seem like if you want a balance or a healthy relationship, it's going to be boring. That is just
No,
not
that's
true.
not true at all.
The stuff we've did, though we're still practicing balanced relationship, we're still going through it. The stuff, the excitement that we did so far up to there, it could fill a book.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not
And
even
it
done.
has.
And we're not even done.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Let's go to the next.
and the books that you're talking about,
Mhm.
not the spicy books, but the books about the principles, they're going to be in workbook format.
It's the
so
teacher
they-
side of her.
So that you can,
Boring. No,
but
I'm
no,
just joking.
because it's one thing to
Yeah, I
read it,
understand.
but it's another thing to learn how to
The
put it in
foundation.
practice.
Gotta
Yeah.
put that foundation.
Yes.
One thing is, this is something.
Yeah.
And
And-
it's a way of life. But one thing is for sure, it first has to be taught. You have to understand, I want to move from being independent to interdependent. I want a life where I want to relate to another individual being, and that other individual being I want to relate to, but I want to use wisdom. I want to use thoughtfulness, that in turn we can operate in a balanced, healthy way where we can do more than what I could do by myself.
Yes.
If you have that belief, if you really think that way, and the other person does too, then you definitely want to move in a thriving, healthy relationship, and we can help you with it as we're doing right now.
Right, because it's important.
So next one.
It's very important.
Where else can they see us?
Where else can you see us?
Well,
Right here.
Oh yeah, is that
right
up there?
here?
No, that's taking the journey. Email.
Oh.
Email.
Oh, you said where else can they see
Well, I'm
us?
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you can also get in contact with us and drop us some thoughts and some ideas and some things that you might want to hear us talk about, and if we don't know, we can research it.
And we also are counselors, coaches, excuse me.
Relationship
so, and we have a certificate that you get whatever you need once you need. So you can always, you can always email us. What's the email? And ask us a question or a direction or a goal you're trying to move to, and we can help you.
The email is ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com. And if you notice, every way that you can get in contact with us as Taking the Journey Together in some way.
Or even on Instagram. Look at that. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Who's got us on
We're
Instagram?
on
Look
Instagram.
Instagram what?
Instagram.com/takingthej together.
I wonder who did that. Wow. I haven't looked at it for a while. I don't remember doing that, but okay.
You must have, because I didn't do it.
Well, where else can they also find us on another event that we do that has to do with the big picture, unity in the community?
Yes.
So not only unity in relationship, but unity in the community also.
Yes.
What do we do with that nonprofit?
We are there on the third weekend from March through December. Every third weekend, you can find us on River Street, where we do an arts and crafts event. We're always looking for arts and crafts vendors as well as food vendors. And that's one of those important pieces where we give back to the community. And we allow people who are not necessarily been in the arts and crafts field for a long, long time. But it's a good place for you to get started and get an understanding of how that works and kind of move into entrepreneurship in a smooth way.
Or you could come down and take your mate with you down on River Street and enjoy all of the arts and crafts vendors who are out there and pick up stuff, listen to music, or just enjoy the walk. What a good place to take your mate with you and relax in Savannah, or you partner with you, enjoy in Savannah, and just in turn enjoy the river or the water and make it a romantic side. Yes, one of the things that you do in a balance or something like that, you don't just do it for business. You also take the advantage of romance that can come out of it and enjoy the romance that you both want to create. Now, it's not just a one story thing.
Or one way.
One way thing. You both want to create that romance.
Yes.
You both enjoy it at the same time. Yes. At the same time. You want to be romantic at the same time.
And that's one of those times when you can experience or practice the everyday use of we talk, where even routine discussions present opportunities. And that's one of those routines. Well, not so routine if you're doing something special, but it's one of those situations where you can use that to create a we. You can talk in terms of we and us. I'm so glad we're doing this. This is a new memory for us, and let us, let's do this. What do you think about that? Get some agreement working.
So instead of using I, use we in your conversation. Do not, exactly. Do not think that you should say we so it's obsessive. Most of us say mostly I, who have not arrived or elevated enough in a relationship. When it comes to interdependence, we're not even thinking about saying we. Most of the time we say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? But you want to move to the next level of saying we. You don't want to say we enough. That is you be, but sure my bridges are falling down. You want to say we all the time. You're not French anymore. So anyway,
Yes.
you want to see
Although
we
that is a
enough
French word.
that it turns you to more comfortable in hearing that. It becomes a spark inside both of you that moves you to hear that you know it's both of us. But don't be obsessive. Be mindful that that language of me identifies a moment so that it replaces the I in me with we and us. Again, it in turn replaces the I in me to be we and us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
I
that
think
is,
this is going to be a last one too. When it comes to
I think so too. Yes, because what it comes down to is embracing more we talk
Mhm.
offers numerous benefits.
Yeah.
But the most significant being a fundamental shift in how we perceive the other person and the relationship as a whole. So the more I speak of us, the more I speak of we, the more I see us as a unit.
Yes.
So come on.
Okay, you just stop for a second. Why?
Because
And
when
not, there's not much left over.
because no, it's because when you said yes, I was expecting you to go on because we do this together.
You don't again try to expect. It is something that should start flowing out.
Exactly.
Just as you can
So-
talk about the things that have to do with yourself, though you don't talk much, but when you do, you could still talk about I, and you pretty much let it flow. You don't necessarily stick it into a strict box that goes straight down the line, and that's it. We're talking about we to be spontaneous. You should feel that connected. And in turn, move to be that healthy and balanced in your relationship that we just becomes part of your language and it's just spontaneous.
Yes, that's like the other day when we were out exploring this one place in the Savannah area. We were at Wormslow.
Oh, Wormslow.
And,
Yes.
And I said to you, we should do a walk talk.
Yes.
And we did this walk talk. We were going along this path and we were looking at different things. And it turned out to be very interesting because, and unfortunately, a lot of the walk talk was done by you because my ADD kicked in, and I was really engrossed in what was around us. But it was still good because I did do my part, and so we were able to do that together.
So now, did you notice how you struggled to that part that had to do with you? Because you even spoke that.
Yes.
But then at the end, you back right into, as it should have been when you started the conversation, that had to do with what?
Us.
We
Yeah.
or us. Same thing. Number two, words that we need to try to
Yes.
make sure it's part of our vocabulary.
Yes.
If you operate as a we and us, things you do together, you're going to find it's easier for you to speak we and us because it goes hand in hand
Exactly.
in what you actually are doing. That's right, folks. If you are out there or not doing much with your mate, and your mate's not doing much with you, and you're not doing much closeness with one another, it's going to be hard for you to speak we and us because you ain't actually doing much of we in us.
You don't have much of a we and us to build on.
Exactly.
And that's
build muscle memory.
Yes.
Be mismemory itself.
Exactly.
Of course, the we muscle memory you might remember is another part, but even okay.
Okay. As we go down that road.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Sure you did,
Okay.
but that's okay. We're gonna roll right along.
Oh, I thank you for forgiving us. I mean me.
Well,
It's me that one, huh?
Yeah.
It's our problem instead of me. But anyway.
well, even in interdependence, there is a point where it is two people who are coming together. So there are some times when you have to say hi.
I see your eyes are going up because you're sneaking in there.
No,
The
because
highway.
no, because I'm saying like in this situation, we didn't make that statement. That was a statement that is attributed to you. And so, but that's not wrong. We can't always speak together. And so, that's
I don't
what
believe the
dialogue
word you
is
just said
about.
because that's not a we. This is
It is. It definitely is not a we.
Yeah, I'm talking about I. So I ain't feeling it.
Me either.
I know.
But
Why did you even say it?
I was trying to
say
do that.
You always do that partner. What is it called? Partner. What's it called?
Pontificating.
Pontificating. And your eyes get way back here like you're in school trying to teach someone. Stop it. Please. Stop it.
Okay,
I'm not impressed. But
okay, I wasn't either.
I know
It
it.
was-
That's why I can tell you whether you're impressed, but you went on anyway. Oh my, that was not a we. That was you.
that was
from that end.
that was a me, but
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm,
I was
mhm.
trying to.
Here you are again. Just stop it.
Yes,
Just stop
yes,
it.
yes. I'm
The
done.
importance is when we do things mostly as a we, when we operate mostly as a we, then we're able to speak and think as a we,
Yes,
and not so much as an I. And that's what it's all about. In a balanced, healthy relationship, we are trying to move toward we are trying to understand that it's okay to speak about we. And that's talk about even in the public. You can't be afraid to speak about we. Many of us black folks are afraid to talk about we in the public. We figure our older mom and dad can do it. Some of mom and dad don't. Some mom and dads do. But we're afraid to say we in the public. We get the perception that, especially if you're under 45, I ain't gonna dare say we. I'm gonna still say I, and he does I too.
yes.
You don't have to. The wave of the future, the move into the future for us is that we have to build as we. We cannot build as high. Brother Malcolm, who thought way ahead of time, he was a futuristic thought process person, being himself. He understood that when it comes to transformation, in the area of relationships and to be healed, we have to move into that we.
Yes.
And can't and stop staying into that I. And I'll use one of the old sayings that came from the past that had to do with the struggle: united we stand,
Divided we fall.
or keeping as two I people, we're gonna fall.
Yes.
And how much more in the society today do we need to stand up as we? With so many people saying it's us against them. I don't know how to even use that.
I know.
You might as well say it's them against I.
Yes.
It
Yes.
ain't no I against
Or
them.
me
I.
against them.
Exactly.
Me
exactly.
against you, or something like
And you
that.
see the relationships are just running down that same gauntlet, very self-centered. And we also hear that's why so many people stay single. You hear women say, I can't find a man who's going to treat me this way, treat me the same way. I hear guys say the same thing too. No one seems to want to try to operate and move in such a way where interdependence becomes a center of that relationship.
Right.
Or that which they make as a goal to move to, since you are trying to relate in the first place. And you can't keep on using that lust connection as the only way for you to relate. And I know on Facebook, because I'm on Facebook, that's what's being flung out there. Y'all women who are out there are flinging just your body all the time. Some of y'all are good as can be, but that is the only message a man will get, is that your body is the only thing that's important. And that kind of symbolism is not going to help in the short one or the long one from a we, because he's going to be mostly thinking about, I want just that body. I don't want a we, I want that.
Exactly.
Okay?
And that is self-centered.
Exactly.
It's not about it's not about you, ladies, when you do that. I you know, and the thing of it is, not only is it happening on the Facebook, on the internet, or wherever, but whatever happens on the internet, young ladies pick it up, and the younger they are, the more they do it.
The younger they fall?
Pretty much. You know, I had to have that conversation with one of my students the other day. You know, and she was like, "But I like how I look." I said, "Well, I'm happy you do, but that does not mean that you have to want it in front of us."
Exactly.
You know, be happy with how you look, but that does not have to be how you sell yourself.
They become mostly a trophy, or what you call a sex symbol, just a symbol, an item, not a real human being whatsoever. So, and it still baffles me that if you continue in that direction, why you will be surprised when the fallback, the byproduct, or in this particular case, the idea comes back from another man or female that you ain't got no brain. You don't think for yourself. You have nothing beyond just your body. When that's all you're showing in the first place, it is no we in that. It becomes mostly I. And when you do push in trying to get your body look best, no doubt about it, it only is being promoted and pushed by an I, not so much by a we. Some of the greatest models, as I was thinking about them, women models, they talk about how lonely they are because they have millions of people who think they're beautiful as can be, but no one makes them feel like a human being. They have committed suicide. They end up being on drugs because inside those
are living extremely lonely and reclusive lives.
And you would think where everybody thinks they're the best looking on image on the outside, you would think they should be feeling good about themselves on the inside. No, it's what other people reflect upon. Their
Yes.
image reflected upon them is essentially only being presented by your body. What else do I have to be concerned about when it comes to inside you? I can't read your mind. I have no ability to be a telepathy. I have no ability to be able to have empath with you whatsoever. All I see is what's on the outside of you. So that's all you are concerned.
Mhm.
And our best to me
Yes.
is only with the outside of you.
Yes. And that is not what you want in a thriving, healthy relationship.
No.
You want to have that balance. You want to say, okay, so maybe I do look good, maybe I don't look good on the outside. Maybe I have a good brain, but I need to start someplace other than just what's on the outside, because that is not a good foundation.
And baby, by the way, you do look good. I don't say it enough, but you.
And here's the thing. I appreciate the fact that you feel that way. I don't necessarily. It's not my push.
Hey, you gotta make sure you say that once in a
Yes.
while, guys. No, I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
and that's true.
He
We
said the
always,
right thing.
yes, we always like to hear. I tell you, you look good. Not nearly enough. I do
I don't
believe it,
look good, handsome, maybe, but anyway, go.
but
That's my mom used to say, you're good. You're a handsome young man. I'm a handsome boy. It's an old school problem.
it is. But you are a very, very attractive. And if nobody else believes that, good.
I'm glad it's just me. I'm glad it's just you. I'm sorry. That was an I statement. I'm glad it's just you. So that's a we thing.
So, but
I think I look all right.
you do. But the thing I'm saying is that was not what attracted me to you.
Mm-hmm.
It was your conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It was what you. Okay, folks. Let's be honest, and I'm going to be transparent here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe TMI, but here it comes. I am sapiosexual,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't know what that is a person who is very, who is more attracted to a person because of their mind, because of their intellect, because of their thought processes, than by what they look like, how they behave in bed, or any of that thing, or any of that. I'm that person who is first attracted to you by your intellect. I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
but I am. And your conversation is what attracted me to you. The fact that you were an out of the box thinker and took it someplace else.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was typing something.
I
I
understand,
know. I was
but
talking to somebody that asked a question. That's why.
yes,
If they were asking, can we see this show at other time because they were flying someplace, and I was telling them you can see this show again. It runs over and over again. If you come back to this particular our link here, which is our Black Media, or wherever you're watching it right now. Hopefully you're watching on our Black Media TV, or you're watching on Roku, or any other place that you're watching our show.
or you can find it on Taking the Journey
Taking the
Together.
journey together too, as we talked about on Facebook.
page.
And you can come back and watch this again and again from that area. You don't have to just be with us live this time. Okay,
But live is good.
yeah, we got about another 2 minutes before we go. I think we did a good job of opening up about what this was all about.
Yes.
And I think that's very important. In summary, when embracing moral recall, it offers numerous potential benefits, with most significant being a fundamental shift in how we perceive the other person and the relationship as a whole.
Yes.
Okay? Again, that shift, we're talking about a shift. I'm talking about a paradigm shift. Anyway, we're talking about, so it's a real shift. Most of us don't have thought processes no more than being independent. And we move into relationships still in the independent mode. And we haven't grown or matured or made that shift into the interdependent. Yeah. Even though we're getting ready to relate with another individual. And you would think it's common sense that I need to now upgrade. I need to shift. I need to move until I take someone else into consideration when I'm trying to relating to this other individual. Well, many of us don't think that.
Yeah.
We're still struggling at a lower level of life and not taking that next level in that connection.
Exactly. And as we close out this topic and close out the show today, one thing that you need to remember, or we would like for you to remember, when you are in an interdependent relationship is this South African term that says, I am because we are. And since we are, therefore I am.
Say it
That is
again.
Ubuntu. I am because we are. And since we are, therefore I am.
A South African term, a philosophy that emphasizes the interconnectedness of humanity and the idea that individuals are defined by their relationships with others. Or I am who I am because of who you are. Until next time, hey, be with us. What time again?
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time, right on this channel. Stay
So
taking
the journey together.
Yeah, I couldn't say it.
See, that's why we did it together.